Hi, welcome back to the organizing tip of the day. Well, it's not really Christmas unless you're baking cookies, right? And baking and all that stuff, except I'm kind of challenged in that regards. I try to bake, I suck at it, so I don't do it very often. But I'm giving it a whirl this year. I'm going to bake some cookies. So I got my recipes that I'm going to bake, and then I got out my decorating bin, and I like keeping a bin of all this stuff together. So I have all my tips, all my sprinkles go together, all my cookie cutters go together, all the colors that I have, you know what I mean, even the little containers for my muffins, it all goes together in one little basket, different kinds of scribblers, and different books that I have different decorating recipe type things on it, and then I keep my mixing bowls on top. And it goes in my cupboard. And the reason I like that is because getting all those little things out is just crazy. So for decorating cookies, cakes, all the things I need, I mean, it even has like measuring spoons in there, everything in there. So I take it out, put it on the counter, it's easy to clean up. But then I was like, okay, I gotta make my list, so I have to go through my baking cupboard to see what I need. Here's where you see that I'm a big fat liar. This is my baking cupboard. Da, 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 da. The reason is it's so small. So my spices are up here, which also need to be organized. Look at this, people. I'm embarrassed. And this is my rollout for baking, and that's all the space I have. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to have to reorganize it. So this is the before. I'm going to reorganize it, and I'm going to show you the after. Okay, so I'm back, and that was literally like not even 15 minutes. I should have showed you the time, but it didn't take me long at all. And I want to quickly show you what I did for my baking drawer pull-out cupboard thing. This is something I've wanted to do for a long time. I put things in containers, and I just used ugly old containers that I already had, and they fit everything perfectly. I swear it was fate or something, because these are the only large Tupperware containers that I had that weren't like bigger than a sandwich size, I mean, and they just happened to fit everything perfectly. So I actually left the measuring cups in there too, because I had some from the dollar store, so they were all connected. So I just divided them and left them in there, and the reason is I do have a little sugar dish and a little flour dish on my counter over here, right? For like when you just need a couple of teaspoons for your coffee, or you want to thicken something or whatever, you're flouring down because you're rolling out, you know, biscuits or something. But when you're baking, it's so hard. You have to like pour it into a cup, and it's totally messy. So I've seen people who had like a tub like this, right? This one's for sugar. And it's so much neater that way, keeping it so they can just scoop it out, scoop it in. And I just opted to keep the scoops right in there. And then I have one for flour, right, with the scoop right in there. So it's going to be so much better. And they're also going to stay a lot fresher this way, especially the brown sugar, which has the extra clamps to keep it fresh on the side, because my brown sugar sometimes was going hard. And look at this, how it perfectly fits in there. So I was able... Honestly, I didn't take anything out except skewers and my icing sugar, which I moved the icing sugar to my decorating basket. And I still have room for my molasses that I have to buy. I have to buy nutmeg, cloves, and baking soda. And there's still plenty of room. But it's so much better taking 15 minutes of my time to organize my baking cupboard. So, give it a try. Take 15 minutes out of your time, reorganize a cupboard or a drawer. It doesn't have to be necessarily your baking cupboard. And if you are doing your baking cupboard, think about putting your flour and your sugar and your your flour and your sugar and your brown sugar into like those resealable large Tupperware containers. I have heard, I've never tried it, but I've heard it makes your baking a lot easier and a lot cleaner. Those are your tips of the day, and we'll see you next time.